This short lecture video is about the diatonic modes. The diatonic modes are really useful for describing 20th century music that is centric, but doesn't necessarily conform to the bounds of traditional tonality. Diatonic modes are rotations of the major and natural minor scales that you already know. For example, if you start on any of the different notes of the C major scale, you can get all 7 diatonic modes. Instead of C being tonic, like it is in a major key, any of the pitches in the C major collection can be its own center. Let's listen to what each of the diatonic modes sounds like. We'll start with Ionian, which looks just like a major scale. In this case, we'll use the no flats or sharps collection. It's the same key signature as C major. Try singing along with this recording. Here's your starting pitch. 1, 2, ready, go! Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Dorian is the next mode in our list. It's what you get when your modal center is scale degree 2 of a major scale instead of scale degree 1. For the no flats or sharps collection, that's D Dorian. You can also think about Dorian in terms of how it's different from D minor. Since D minor has 1 flat, B flat, and Dorian has no flats, you can see how Dorian scales have a raised 6th scale degree compared to natural minor scales. Let's hear what that sounds like. This time, let's use the re-based solmization syllables you can see at the bottom of the slide. Here's your starting pitch. 1, 2, ready, go! Re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re. Next up is Phrygian. Its center is scale degree 3 of a major scale, and the distinctive low scale degree 2 really differentiates this mode from a natural minor scale. Let's hear what this sounds like. Again, we'll use the mi-based solmization syllables on the bottom of the slide. Here's your starting pitch. 1, 2, ready, go! Mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi. Lydian's center is scale degree 4 of a major scale, and it has a raised 4th scale degree compared to a major scale. Let's hear what this sounds like with the fa-based solmization syllables on the bottom of the slide. Here's your starting pitch. 1, 2, ready, go! Fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa. You guessed it, Mixolydian starts on scale degree 5 of a major scale. Its lowered 7th scale degree compared to a major scale makes it a good choice for jazz musicians choosing a scale to use over a 5/7 chord. You can see how the pitches of a dominant 7th chord in C major fit easily into this scale. Let's hear what this sounds like with the sol-based solmization syllables on the bottom of the slide. I'm going to need to use a lower register this time for my range. Here's your starting pitch. Ready, and go! Sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol. Aeolian is the rotation that starts on scale degree 6 of a major scale, and it sounds exactly the same as a natural minor scale. We'll use the la-based solmization syllables on the bottom of the slide. Here's your starting pitch. 1, 2, ready, go! La, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Locrian is the mode you get when the center is scale degree 7 of a major scale. It's the last one in the rotation before you get back to scale degree 1, and it's also the one we encounter the least. That's probably due to the tritone between the first and fifth scale degrees of the mode. That's T and Fa from a major scale. Now let's try singing this one with T-based syllables. Here's your starting pitch. 1, 2, ready, go. Ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. As we discussed, we can think about modes as rotations of a major scale that start on different scale degrees of that major scale. That's similar to how we think of C major and A minor as relative keys with the same key signature and different tonics. We can also think about modes in a way that's similar to how we think about parallel keys, like C major and C minor. They have the same tonic or center, but different key signatures. There are 3 modes with a major third between their first and third scale degrees. Those are the ones at the top, and they have a lot in common with a major scale. The 4 modes at the bottom of this list have a minor third between their first and third scale degrees, and we'll compare those with natural minor. Starting with the major sounding modes, we've got C Ionian, second from the top. C Lydian at the very top, which sounds a lot like C major, but instead it has a raised scale degree 4. C Mixolydian is really similar to C Ionian, but it has a lowered scale degree 7. For the 4 minor sounding modes, we'll start with Aeolian, which sounds exactly the same as a natural minor scale. Dorian sounds a lot like a natural minor scale, but it has a raised scale degree 6. Phrygian is really distinctive because of its low scale degree 2 compared to natural minor. And Locrian is really unique because it has that low scale degree 2 as well as a low scale degree 5 compared to natural minor. I like to use this parallel way of thinking about modes to identify them aurally. It helps a lot to think, for example, okay, this music sounds a little like it's in a major key, but it has a low scale degree 7. It must be a Mixolydian mode. You can also use the relative and parallel techniques when you're writing modal scales. To write a modal scale using the relative method, you'll need to remember the modes that correspond to each scale degree of a major scale. For example, to write a G Phrygian scale, you'd remember that Phrygian starts on scale degree 3 of a major scale. The major scale that has G as scale degree 3 is E flat major. So G Phrygian has the same key signature as E flat major. That's 3 flats. To write a modal scale using the parallel construction, you would need to remember which scale degrees of the modes are altered from a major or natural minor scale. For example, to write a B-flat Lydian scale, you would need to remember that Lydian has a raised 4th scale degree from a major scale. You could start with a B-flat major scale, and then raise the fourth scale degree by a half step from E flat to E natural. Both of these methods require memorizing some key facts about the modes and fluency with scale degrees and key signatures, so feel free to see one of our tutors if you would like to brush up on these topics. Let's do some practice. Pause the video and try writing an A-flat Lydian modal scale using the relative construction technique. Is this what you got? For this one, you'd think A-flat is scale degree 4 of what major key? It's E flat major, which has 3 flats. A flat Lydian will be a scale that starts on A flat and has 3 flats: B flat, E flat, and A flat, the same key signature as E flat major. Now give it a try on your own. Using either the parallel or relative method, try to write all 5 of these modal scales. Get ready, here come the answers.